Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all keeping well, staying safe and sane and enjoying the summer. Now I'm coming on here today, with a little project share. I bought some of these Stamperia soft moulds. Now I bought 5 of them all together. Now they're very cheap. They were between €3 and €4 for each mould. And I haven't seen very much about using them on YouTube. Now, there are a few videos, but I didn't really see anything terribly inspiring. See what they're like. They're made out of plastic. That's why they're so cheap. They're not silicone. And Stamperia recommend that you use their cream paste with them. Now, I didn't use the cream paste. I used a filler, and like the builders or painters and decorators use. I'll talk more about that later, but this is what I produced. That's the one with the bird on it. Okay. Let's see again. You can see the bird here. Now you can paint this with these with acrylic paints. You can cut them up. You could cut the bird out of it. You could cut the brick wall bit out of it and paint them and add paste or wax or whatever you like to it. Just treat it like an embellishment. They don't look great now, they're just in the white, but bear with me. Now here's the cogs one. This is why I got them really for kind of steampunk. This is the mould that goes with it. And then the clocks. The clocks worked the best, and I have to say that's fabulous. You could cut out each clock, or you could just cut around, you know, use a small bit of the design on a card. You could also colour this whole skin, I think you call them, and use it as a journal cover, you know, after it's been painted and waxed and decorated and whatnot. So I'll show you a few more things I did with them. Now, I painted this one with kind of bronze, peachy bronze, and I added some glitter kiss to it. Now, I was a bit too lavish with the glitter kiss, but you can see where I'm going, I think. And this is, made just a section and pulled it off, and they are very easy to use. Now the butterfly could be cut out and painted up, you know, all his little sections done individually if you felt like it. And then there's also a lovely lace soft mould. Excuse the state of my hands. I was painting, as you'll see later. You'll see a bit more of these later on. Sometimes it's quite hard to see which is the right side or the one with the, you know, more depth in it, but I think it's this side. You can see it there. There's a lovely lacy design, and this is what I did with it. There, I painted it with acrylic paint. Now the first section down here is acrylic paint all over, and I worked the acrylic paint as best I could into the sections. And then I rubbed highlighted it with the Prima wax, this stuff here. It's rose gold metallic. This stuff. And then this section here is just the paintbrush with paint on it, kind of lightly rubbed across it, and then that's it, plain. Like you could cut that section out and make, well, I'd continue to put wax on this bit here. That's just to show you what it's like. But I would cut that out maybe and use it as a border on a card or on the bottom of a card. These are featherweight and they won't add any weight to a project at all. So that's that one. Now, what did I use to make the base? I used this stuff, Fat Hog Lightweight Filler. Now, it's lightweight. There's supposed to be a litre of filler in it, and there is, but it's very light. And where I got this was in one of these shops where you go to get paint mix. It's one of these places that painters and decorators go to get different paint. We were there buying wall paint, and I saw this as I must try it. So I'll show you what it looks like. And it's very reasonable. This tub was €7.50 and it is a huge tub. And the more you buy, like, the cheaper it gets. Now, I did look in an ordinary DIY place for lightweight fillers and they were incredibly expensive. Don't go near any of these poly fillers or, you know, the heavy fillers. Not heavy fillers. Now, what do? We'll do the bird. I'm just checking to see I have the right side. Basically, you just smoosh it on ever so gently. Just imagine you're icing a cake, and I would bring it right out to the edge so you can start picking it off from the edge. Right, let's see. Yes. Let's say you just want to make a bird. That's all you do. Just rub it on and leave it overnight to dry. Now, if you want to know whether you've put enough on it, all you can do is hold it up to the light, and there will be holes in it. Let's see. I know you can't see me doing it, but yes, it's okay. So, let's see, is that Mr. Bird? Oh, I have forgotten about his tail up here. Here we go. Look at his tail. Now, folks, that's all you do. Fun and games. As I said, lightweight filler. Now, I saw in another video where somebody said that they use golden modelling paste, and I'm sure you could use modelling paste, but I think this stuff would work out a lot cheaper. Stamperia also make a cream paste of their own for use with this, but it is terribly expensive and it's also very hard to get. So I wouldn't use it, to be honest with you, because somebody said that they had it and they got 4 or 5 of these out of it. Now you can imagine at the rate I'm going into this, I will get possibly 30, 40 of these out of a tub of this. Whereas, you know, the other stuff, it's just too dear. I mean, the moulds are so cheap and so reasonable. There again, because they're plastic. And they're so easy to use. Now, I've also tried this lightweight filler with ordinary moulds and it doesn't work. It's best for these really shallow moulds. So I did these and I made them and I was, you know, happy with them. But I was wondering, was there anything else you could do with the mould? How could I get it to really earn its keep? And I thought of using it with a jelly plate. So here we go. Anyway, I thought of a jelly plate. So what I did was I just put brayered paint, plain layer of paint, of light green paint onto the jelly plate. And I put sorry about this, I'm just sorting myself out here, folks. Then got this, just dipped it down into the jelly plate and pressed it down well, took it off and pressed it down onto this paper. Now it's not spectacular, but you can see there was prints and stuff on it already, but it does add another layer and a bit of depth to the whole sheet of paper. And here it is. Now this is where it gets interesting, when you start doing it on a light paint on a dark background. You can see there. And this is just, you know, I think it's the ghost print or whatever they call it afterwards. Now this is what happens when you use a mould that's a bit damp or has water in it. The trouble with these moulds is if you're washing them out and using them again straight away, you have to make sure that they're dry. Otherwise, if you're using them with a jelly plate, the paint will run like it did there. But there, I will probably put more paint on that and use it for something else. And sorry for, there we go. That was, the mould was a bit wet. And then this is tea-dyed paper and brown paint on the jelly plate. The mould is dipped into it and put back down on the paper. Now when I put the mould with the paint on it on the tea-dyed paper, I brayered the back of it as hard as I could just to get the paint onto the tea dyed paper. And this is where I think we really hit gold, because this would be brilliant in a, you know, a steampunk or a grunge journal, any of that style. So I started doing those, but then I have to clean up sooner or later because the kitchen was mad at that stage. If you would like me to do an actual process video showing you exactly how I did it, please please mention it in the comments. But you see there, brown background and then the light colour on the stencil. And that isn't even tea dyed, that's just a kind of a peachy background with, I think it's kind of plum coloured paint. I love that. And that's more. And that's a bronze background, and that was just pulled from the Gelli plate. And this is another sheet of paper that had lots of paint and background on it already, and the mould is done in very faintly in bronze, I think. And then I tried silver on black, there again for a grunge effect. And then silver on tea dyed paper. I'm probably going through these too fast, but I don't want to make the video very long. And we're back to the beginning. So you can see how these little moulds have a double life, and I did have great fun with them, even though my back is broken, because I have to do the Gelli print standing up, and I'm very tall and kills my back. So maybe in the next video I'll show you, I'll unmould this fellow and I'll show you what he'll look like. But if you have these already and, you know, in your stash and you haven't done anything to them, you can see there's a rose design up there that should come out very well too. So there's no, if you have them in your stash already and you're going to some DIY place at the weekend where you can pick up the lightweight filler, cheap lightweight filler, folks, not the expensive stuff, have a go and enjoy yourself. And you also, most places that sell Stamperia paper should have them or should be able to get them for you. This one, some of them kind of tie in with the paper. This is the orchids from the Orchids and Crafts collection. But there you are. Excuse the brown paint all over my fingers. Now you know why my fingers are always dirty. But very enjoyable. So have a good weekend, folks. Enjoy yourselves and stay safe. Bye.